Hello to everybody. Welcome to our interview. We are going to introduce you three fantastic speakers from Portugal. This is the Skillman Alliance for the collaboration with the ETF. The Skillman Alliance represents the Assembly of European Region, IVETA, the Association Innovation for Inclusion, and EAPRIL, in collaboration with the European Training Foundation, is organizing this interview to our next CoVE, the CoVE that is in Lisbon, that is representing Portugal CoVEs for Skillman Network. And this is an interesting interview because we will talk about the Pact for Skills, micro-credentials, green and digital skills. We will also reflect on social inclusion and gender balance in Tibet that is promoted by fantastic partners, and the excellence finally is the target of our CoVEs. So we have here João Costa from ATEC, we have João Alves from ATEC, and Miss Maria Manuel Ribeiro from the municipality of Lisbon. Thank you very much to be here. We are going now to the next step. I think you are curious to understand what our stakeholders are taking in the discussion. Just wait a few minutes. And here we are, my friends. Now it's your turn to introduce yourself. I have, of course, I have more curiosity than the public to know something about you and your expertise. Now we know what is your current occupation, but probably also interesting to understand your bio info and to know your interest and your wishes for the future. Why you like me to work in Tibet sector. I know you for some reason that you are very engaged in this field, and you put your passion. I see when we collaborate during the meeting that your ideas are always fresh and interesting. So let to our public understand why you are interesting for our Skillman community. We please, Maria, you want to introduce yourself? Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. My name is Maria Manuel Ribeiro. My field of studies, in fact, is literature and modern language, but I work in adult education and as a vet trainer at Development and Training Department, thus contributing to qualify municipality employees and citizens under the flag of the Qualification Center, the Centro Qualifica. International Internships Coordinator also. We host more than 200 international students within Erasmus+, Leonardo da Vinci, Grundtvig, since several years. Also work in recognition, validation, and certification of adult skills and life experience through autobiographical methodologies for more than 15 years. With CDFOP, I am an ambassador all along with Luisa Dornelas to tackle early school living since 2018. And we contribute with several insights and views to CDFOP reports during the pandemic quarantine, for example, during this lockdown 2020 and 2021. We actively participate in European Vocational Skills Week since 2017, and we are very active in networking, social media with transnational partners like Xarxa Formación Profesional. We collaborate through Development and Training Department with the European Alliance for Apprenticeships. We participate and collaborate with a wide range of Erasmus Plus projects like Port Vet Hub, to the integration of migrants also like a Sylvia project or Giovanna and Motivate to build up motivation, skills and competencies with the migrant refugees or asylum seekers.
Very impressed about your such wide number of
you.
activities and interrelations you have with other organizations and colleagues. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
It was very interesting to know your bio presentation. So the youngest of the ATEC team, João Alves, please, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you very much, Giovanni. My name is João Alves. I work at ATEC. I'm responsible for the international cooperation projects, as well as quality issues at ATEC and certifications. So since my background, I also very enthusiastic about all related things with the environment and sustainability. And well, I believe we will present ATEC a little bit further. So I think the other João can continue.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Now we are passing to João Costa. Thank you very much, João Alves. Please, João, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much again, also Giovanni, for the invitation, for this interview, and for the invitation to be part of this Portuguese CoVE here in the region of Lisbon. So I'm also working in ATEC. I'm the general manager from ATEC. My background, so I am an engineer, mechanical engineer. I worked for 13 years, more or less, in functions related with the industry. The last 10 years in the industry were on the automotive industry. Then I moved to more for human resources topics and also for service to the industry, where I worked for almost another 13 years. And since 5.5 years ago, I moved to ATEC because really I'm really very keen on the qualification issues, on the developing the skills of the people. I think we have the possibility in working on this field of activities, really to touch the people life, to change also the companies, to have a positive contribution to the economy, not only of the regions where we are, but also for the country. We also, through ATEC and even before ATEC, I also like to participate in all these, in several associations, normally related to the industry. At the moment, I'm belonging to the board of the Industrial Association of Setúbal region, which is in the south of Lisbon, but also belonging to the region of the metropolitan region of Lisbon. And also we are participating also actively in the automotive cluster, Portuguese automotive cluster. So these are the main activities. And to be honest, it's the possibility of touching the people's lives and giving a strong contribution to the country and to the regions where we are playing.
Great. I see that we have a very different expertises here that merge all the same target, because we are building this CoVE and we need such different contributions and expertises. So thank you very much. Let's go to introduce the next chapter of our interview. Here we are for introducing the next step that is on our intention, the idea how to understand how you deploy on the territory the European mission in the direction of only one result that will drive our CoVE to have a success, not only in Lisbon, not only in Portugal, but in the world, but in particular in the European region, and influencing the other CoVEs and the other Tibet providers that work with us in parallel and in connection, and that expect from you to have a contribution in terms of innovation. The excellence is also synonymous of innovation for TVET. And so what is the idea that we have in implementing the European Pact for Skills? And the question is for you. And I think our expectation in this regard looks to how you implement the Pact for Skills in your current dimension, your current settings, and what is your idea on how to improve this impact. And we have in front very strong challenges, the green and digital revolution that we have. All of our organizations, all of us are asked to have an impact in this process, in the revolutions that we want to promote. This is the 2020 was the year of the launch of the Pact for Skills. So only 1 year is passed, but there was the pandemic period that the effect of pandemia has afflicted as our activities. So please, who would like to start firstly to comment this Pact for Skills under your point of view?
So I can do. I'll speak. Okay, good. So basically, for us, the question of the skilling and reskilling and upskilling is something that we have been working before the Pact for Skills. So the Pact for Skills was just a confirmation that we were on the right track. That for the European Commission also, this is a topic of big importance. As you mentioned, Giovanni, we are in a phase where the digital transformation that we are assisting every day will impact, and is impacting already, all of our personal lives, the industries, and also will require from the labor market a big change in the profiles and the skills that will be needed today and in the future. We have been working, as I mentioned before, on that. We have also in our activities offers of training and consultancy to companies, and we in the last years have been called by some companies precisely to support them in this process of reskilling or upskilling their workforce. In fact, for two reasons. First of all, there is a huge lack of qualified workers in the labor market. For several reasons, not only the question of the technical or the technical development that we are nowadays assisting, so that will require that we'll have more and more qualified people, but also we have, and I think it's common not only in Portugal but common in all Europe, we have demographic issues. So we have an older and older population, so people is getting to the age of retirement, and they are retiring themselves with all the knowledge and the skills they have, and we need to very fast replace that. We really strong believe and that the focus that have been given to this area by the European Commission by declaring these pacts of skills, it's have impact not only in the economy but also in social terms. We really believe that in the future, the gap or the social gap between the ones that are qualified and the ones that are not qualified will be increasing, and we could be reaching, I would say, not being dramatic, could reach dramatic levels. So it's really important that we proceed. What this Pact for Skills will bring new, I would say that will be a much stronger and better cooperation in the VET ecosystem. Will hopefully promote, especially in technical skills. We need to have a really strong promotion of the VET education and training system, and also for the working. This is basically for the initial qualification process, but also for the people already working. So the active workers, let's say, the question of reskilling and upskilling all that workforce that need to be reskilled and really fast. The question is really speed. We are in a global market. Europe belongs to this global market, and we need really fast to adapt to this new reality against other regions of the globe, United States, Asia, and so on and so on. So we really need to be really fast and requalifying our people, because even if we're living in a technological world, I would say that what will be making more difference in the future are the peoples, not the technology. So the technology today, I would say, is not, it's something that you can buy. The cost, it's lower and lower. So nowadays technology is cheaper than before. And so what could make really the difference is having the right and the qualified people and the right skills. In the future will be that will be the change, or the key factor, sorry.
Thank you very much. I totally agree with especially one reflection that we need to accelerate, is sure, and also that the technological skills that you said must be improved are extremely relevant, I think, even this social view, because we need to have to avoid that anyone is cut out from the access to the technological skills, because this gap, if you remain out, then is very difficult to rescue. And I think is something that we have to pay a strong attention that will not happen. So do not exclude anyone from education. I would say also do not exclude anyone from technological skills. It's a very strong and important challenge. Joao Alves, do you want to add something?
Yes, just one small thing. I believe also the Pact for Skills wants really or gives a huge efforts also in cooperation within all the ecosystem, not only the VET system. So the link with industry, with the governmental institutions, and also municipalities, for instance, like we have here also today, Lisbon municipality. All these links are clearly important, and the Pact for Skills also stressed that, and that's what I wanted to add to what João has already said. Yeah.
That's great. I think that understanding your commitment in such a very social base that is the Pact for Skill is very important, because you represent a private organization, a TVET provider that belongs to important companies, industries in the automotive sector, and not only. So I think it's very important to have you committed. And in the reverse is quite like natural attitude of the municipality to be engaged for the Pact for Skills. But Maria, I think that your point of view is very important to understand also how not only how you are engaged, but how you deploy this engagement as municipality of Lisbon, such important city, not only for Lisbon, or not only for Portugal, but for the world. So please, Maria, unmute your micro and let us to understand the position of the municipality in front of the Pact for Skills, the European Pact for Skills. Thank you.
Yes, of course. As everybody had already said, the mission of our organization in relation to the European Union Pact for Skills is that we want to mobilize all the resources and to boost all interested partners to take tangible measures to improve the skills, to upskill and to reskill and to requalify either the workforce, but also citizens, employed people and employed people through the pooling of efforts. We want to create partnerships that favor ecological and digital transitions, and this goes all along within the Pact for Skills main aiming. as well as a local and regional growth strategies. So everything that was said before, it's very important for us. We want also to increase joint actions to maximize the impact of investment in improving existing skills and training in new skills. Again, the requalification, either on industry, employers, social partners with chambers of commerce, public authorities, education and training services providers, employment agencies, to work together and make a clear commitment to invest in training for all people of the working age, as you were again said. So the municipality delivers a concrete work experience. It covers a wide range of apprenticeships, also provides several training courses to people that is in need of gain more competencies. Moreover, as we hold several interns each year through curricular internships or professional ones, either under Erasmus Plus program or others, we want to continuously create the possibility to integrate several apprentices in work placements, to allow them to develop and learn in specific areas like administration, either archives, archaeology, photography, ITC. So several fields like automation, robotics, legal metrology equipment. So we have a wide range of fields and areas of internships that we can provide. All this goes all along with social inclusion, of course, because it is very important to tackle the risk of exclusion. So we belong also, then this is important also to Pact for Skills, because we belong to several consortiums. The City Council work with hundreds of stakeholders that are crucial to the best development of the city modernization, but also the metropolitan area. So not only a small local or specific one. So we want the best development of the city. We want to follow the European excellent standards, of course, and as member of several networks and consortia, we want to be very dynamic and trying to share our best practices and experience to aiming the incorporation of practices and supplies that increase employment, thus helping people in their labor market transition, for example.
Thank you very much. I'm very impressed not only by the expertise of the interviewed stakeholders, my friends and colleagues of the Portuguese CoVE, but also about the activities that they deploy, because we have here an important TVET provider that is keen to boost all the social dimension and to pay attention to the relevance that the technological skills have for the social dimension, the social inclusion, and the citizenship rights. And then we have a municipality that is not only an abstract organization or a bureaucratic organization, but is an effective organization, is an organization that implements effectively the policies and make actions on the field in the TVET sector, because we know that giving skills to people, we boost them in citizens' rights, in citizenships rights. So I think that this frame allows us to understand that the CoVE that we see is constituting in Lisbon is a natural consequence of this attitude. So, Maria, thank you very much also for your contribution. Let's go now introduce, thank you, to the next chapter of our interview. Here we are again. And now we can go a little bit more deep into some specific argument, because now we are going to reflect on some specific, I would say, new arguments in Europe, because we know that recently the European Commission has published his approach to micro-credentials that is very important for us. And this approach set the conditions for providing learners with proof of their learning's outcomes acquired following short and transparently assessed learning experiences. And this means that we need to move the subject from the institution to the learners, because each learner must become owner of its own learning history. In this way, we need to offer more flexible and modular learning opportunities, and we need to reinforce the role of TVET, because as we were commenting before, TVET has a role in distributing skills, in promoting skills that are useful for being citizens and to have recognized rights. So we are in the need now to make this green and digital revolution, and to provide credentials and to support users to take ownership of their own backgrounds, of their own results, and to build the best learning pathways using these different inputs. So not only micro-credentials are here starting for this discussion, but as I already said, the green and digital skills, the digital revolution, and not only, because the social inclusion and the gender balance, so to fight the stereotypes, gender stereotypes, and so on. So how your organizations tackling gender stereotypes and other barriers related to these important demands? So I would like now to start from João Alves, and then I will pass to the other colleagues.
Thank you, Giovanni. Well, ATEC is very active, I would say, in these different roles. I can start with the micro credentials. I believe it's a very, very important step to be done through Europe and by each individual countries. But I believe that it can be also a big challenge, because there are, at least when we look, for instance, in Portugal, but I believe it's the same in almost all countries, the regulations are really stricted in education and training. So this can be sometimes a little bit hard for the training entities like ourselves, like ATEC, to develop these micro credentials as it is at the moment. Nevertheless, it's a step that needs to be taken, and when we deliver training for companies, I believe that's something that is already been doing. Not in the initial training, because that's really regulated and very, very, very strongly regulated. But when we're talking about training staff for companies, this is something that we are already trying to experiment with small trainings, and the digital transition that COVID brought also to the VET system, I believe accelerated also these questions. And because when we are delivering training online, it is really easy for people to focus on one certain objective for his development. And we can do it more easily than when we are face to face.
Absolutely. I'm sure
Yeah.
that you are not only committed, but even best player in this regard, because you implement the CoVE system. And we know also that the Europass system has been recently completely revised, and the website of the European Commission offer a very valid service to manage the release of the credentials. So I think that such good organizations that you represent is fully able to pass to use this system for certifications, European certifications. And I think that you have already all the necessary information, because even for short courses, if you implement the CoVE system, you need to set the learning outcomes, and this brings to you to have an easy step to release the micro-credentials. So João Costa, what is your comment about micro-credential, green and digital skills, social inclusion, gender balance? How do you enjoy against all this? What are the barriers that you have to fight? Because I understood that you have already pushed down a lot of barriers, but you still have someone. What is
I would say that I will be focused, because João has already mentioned the micro-credentials and the restrictions that we have. I just would like to add something that João mentioned also, but a little bit more detailed. So the question of the e-learning, for instance, we need to have also in taking consideration, and the question of COVID also brought us the possibility of expanding and using more and more e-learning. We have new generations coming into the education system and also to the labor market that are much more digital, let's say fluent, let's say, if it is the right expression. And so basically we can introduce e-learning. And for e-learning, we cannot ask someone that will stay 8 hours or 6 hours or 5 hours in front of a computer per day having his training. So it should be really short periods of training with these micro-credentials, and then will also allow us to define better an individual learning path. So the question of not having a long curriculum with all the subjects inside, but the possibility of making and customizing the learning path using the micro-credentials is really great. It's really very important. Regarding the green and digital skills, so in ATEC we have been working on the green skills. Let's say we are using as a platform or as a basis for all our intervention the development and sustainable objectives from the United Nations. So we are using that in our training activities, where students have to, giving the example, the last actions that we took was one of the last before we have the lockdown from COVID. We asked our students to make projects regarding improvements that they could plan for these development, sustainable and development objectives. And we really got more than 40 working groups with really great ideas of products, with services regarding this situation. The other thing that we also are involved with is the curricula. So we need to adapt our curricula also for the need of these green skills. We have been creating a curriculum for the Portuguese National Catalogue of Skills or Professions, one that was regarding energy control and management. So it's not only important to have new sources of energy, but also to manage the ones that are already existing nowadays. For the digital skills, so this could be a huge amount of actions, but I would say that we are now in a program to make the complete digital transformation of our products, of our services, but also, again, the curriculum was really important to add new curriculums to the market. We developed a training course, level 5 training course in cybersecurity. I can tell you that we have 100% employability of all the learners that finish this training course, but also using the digital solutions as pedagogical methodologies. So we have just giving two examples of two projects that we are still running, some of them. One of them is using a small microprocessor, the microbit from BBC, that we are using to, especially the youngsters the young people from our training courses, that they use it for getting the first touch with programming, with automation. So it's really a very interesting project. And the other one is going and using, for instance, Minecraft, so that the young people, really, children and already young adults, let's say some of them like a lot, which is Minecraft, to use it for instance, mathematics lessons. So we are using this, and they have to create the world like in Minecraft, but they have to use it regarding scales, using the dimensions. So one of the projects was, for instance, to make a scale model of our building in Minecraft. So they had to learn how to read drawings, how to transform the measurements from the drawings to the real life, and then to the Minecraft, and so on. So it's using technology to motivate the trainees, but also to give them awareness about the digital skills and the possibilities that the digital skills can provide them. Just to finalize, gender. It's really a huge issue on technical training. It's really difficult still. There is still, it's really difficult to recruit or to convince the young, or the girls or young women to join us in technical training. It's a cultural issue. We have been fighting for a lot of years already. We are working really close with the vocational professionals that are working on the schools in the educational system to show them there is really no reason for girls not following a profession in technical expertise areas, but we have still a long way to go. We did it again before COVID. Now we had to stop the last 2 years. We did also a program of going to schools, third cycle schools. So we are speaking about children among 12 and 14 years old. So there was someone going from ATEC, a trainer, plus a trainee, a girl, that explained the other girls on the schools why they chose to have a technical studies and the advantages of it. So this was something. It was our contribution to promote the technical areas, especially the technical areas, amongst the young women and children. Basically, this is what we did.
Thank you, João. You have also given very important bits of examples on how you face, how you move against these barriers. And it's very important, I think, all that you said, but I know that in particular your commitment to design new curricula or to update your curricula to the upcoming situations and challenges. And also is sure, as you ended, reflecting on the relevance of the attractiveness of TVET. It's important to have a better imagine, a better attractiveness of TVET in general, and in particular for gender stereotypes to make access to all genders and not only to one part. So I think that all that you do is really in line with our expectations as a Skillman community, that see you as a source for innovation for the rest of the community, and is, of course, ready to interact with you, taking and contributing to your innovation and to your excellence. And now we pass to Maria Manuel Ribeiro, asking how you act in this regard for, of course, something that I think is really natural for the municipality, but also something that could not be, because the debate on micro credentials is very fresh. I think is very new. And so we need the organizations that are flexible and ready to change. And normally we are not keen to understand a municipality, and even such big municipality, ready to follow market trends, or in this case, social trends that are changing so quickly. So please, let instead understand us that we are wrong in this, and this is a stereotype, because I know that you act very fast in this regard, and your engagement for releasing of credentials is very effective. Please, Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, most effectively, of course, we are responsible for relevant skills and the competencies delivering within a lifelong learning perspective. But also this digital transition is very important for us. And we wanted also anticipate a little bit, like João said before. We want to anticipate this digital transition. So we have put it on and launched it. We put on place a digital program that is open to all people, and they can earn their own badges. So citizen individuals within this offer, they can gain more digital skills to face, for example, the transition to a job, the requalification, the upskilling they are needing within a business, for example. Like we have achieved this program, this digital program, and now it's open to all the community. Also, a program that was Academia Mais Valor is an academia that can provide several learning through small workshops to people. We have provided more than 1,000 video, for example, that can be easily exceed under this platform, and so people can lead their own apprentices, and this is also a challenge. Of course, we had this main challenge with the COVID-19 problem and the lockdown, and we had to reformulate a little bit also the digital learning, and either in cybersecurity. For example, we had a cybersecurity course to provide to our employees or citizens. Also, we started to have the program and the process of recognition of competencies made available online, so that people can accede to their best qualification with this platform, and this was also a challenge because we had to qualify better our trainers. At start, it was difficult to put everything to go on well, but we start to do it, and since last year, and now things are the recognition of competencies, for example, to enhance qualifications, and we can the guidance to provide a wide range of educational paths like double certifications, academic or professional, are provided to lower qualified people through formal, non-formal or informal methodologies. So the Lisbon Qualification Center offers several modular short-term courses to complement specific technological VET needs, and we work closely with the National Institute for VET and Employment to help on this. Following DigiComp framework, for example, this program for digital literacy was specifically designed by the development department, and it was launched 3 years ago, so we anticipate this because we had this concern with the skills need to improve citizen digital competence. And so we also, by the broader competencies that the municipality has, we teach and train in constant education, and we update the professional development for both pedagogical as well as technical skills to implement quality culture-based defined management systems, for example, and also in regard this security and safety aspect that are central to the city's concern. As to the gender barriers, I would like to state that the organization tackles gender barriers for ever since, of course. They implement the gender balanced participation, for example, by the representation within public and local governments, improving gender participation both in leadership or hierarchy boards or governance with the work staff. Also, the municipality attributed the Portuguese platform for women's rights a municipal space for the creation of a house of associations in this area to equality and women's rights, to defend women's rights. Also, the National Observatory of Gender and Violence was created several years ago as part of an interdisciplinary center for social sciences, and is based at the Faculty of Social Human Sciences. This includes researchers from all faculties of Universidade Nova de Lisboa, for example, as well as international experts with recognized merit. This is in line with what is suggested by the Council of Europe and is being governed by scientific and academic guidelines, of course. It is a first national observatory to cover the domains of violence and gender, and to tackle all these inequalities that is very important to combat nowadays. Some economic measures, for example, are also in practice to fight inequalities, as each employed and earns a wage according with this job profile. So the gender balance here is very present. And we have an award, the Madalena Barbosa Municipal Award, that promotes by the Commission for Citizenship and Gender Equality. It distinguishes projects or actions to the women's liberation movement and all the feminist movements that followed her. It was recognized for her studies, and so this is an award that is available in the municipality. So we have also one program that is very important, that is the Somos. The Somos program was launched to work through workshops and ateliers, aiming to train facilitators specifically to supply the city and the regions with individuals that can act as mentors or mediators within associations, NGO, and the city workforce, to help increasing democratic participation, to transmit human rights values as the universal ones, to fight exclusion, to fight for the respect and against xenophobia, and by working with migrant people, refugees, and or asylum seekers. And I think mainly we have covered mostly what we have here. Thank you.
To list all the things, I think we will end tomorrow morning. So we have to stop about it.
Yes,
because
yes.
You have a very huge quantity of activity, engagements, connections, and so on, as I told you. But it's understandable because your organization, the municipality, is very big and very active, as I know. And yes, I noted your capacity to put different stakeholders in connection and to valorize the resources that you have on the territory. And in this regard, I think that you are the best player to make live this CoVE that we have started to concretize, to build with your contribution and ATEC contribution. So I think that here we have the best present in Lisbon area in Portugal in terms of TVET effectiveness, TVET excellence, and effectiveness in implementing innovation. But let's in fact go to the next step where we will talk exactly about this. And that's it, the surprise. TVET excellence and CoVEs is the final chapter to describe our commitment to excellence in TVET. So we have, we said, the best players, we have best expertises, we have best experiences in the past. So it's now just easy, I think, but important, very important, to put the pieces together and to start to discuss about the future, because we have this idea to involve our partners in something that is new, because is something that the European Commission has launched a few years ago, promoting the concept of centers of vocational excellence as an aggregate of different entities that promote excellence, that promote a new approach that for the Skillman network would mean an excellence for all and not an excellence for elites. And this is important, our commitment, I think, for social inclusion and commitment in terms of skills for all and not skills for elite. And in this way, to avoid any gap, to exclude anyone. So the Commission targets at least 100 CoVEs by 2027. So we are not alone. There are other initiatives in this regard, but Skillman Network started in 2019 to create its own sub-networks of CoVEs. And you started from months ago, but we are running in this drive, and you are the most important player for us, because you drive the process. So we have identified the famous 25 variables. Then we have built the self-assessment tool. Our network has implemented this survey to understand how it is positioned against these 25 variables. And we are still running in this drive. We are still improving the tool, the self-assessment tool. And more than 100 organizations have implemented this tool within the Skillman network. And you are also asked to contribute to the Portuguese.eu network, the network of the CoVEs that belongs to the Skillman community, to increase the capacity of the CoVEs network. So under these 25 variables, this is the I think, the dilemma. We have a very big number of variables that must be controlled and improved. So this is the challenge. And under these 25 variables for excellence, we are curious to understand in which aspects do your organization perform more effectively. We cannot now list all the 25 variables, of course, otherwise we will not end. But in this range, because you are aware about this, we have worked on this and you are running the drive. Okay, what are your aspects, the aspects that you want underline that represent your excellence in TVET? Please, Maria, would you like to start about this?
Yes, thank you. Well, most effectively, I think that as we are responsible as Lisbon, he's a public body, so he's responsible for so many relevant skills and competencies that the municipality must deliver within a lifelong learning perspective. It provides either to employees or the citizens or even individuals the best education and training offer in this perspective of reskilling or upskilling objective. And this aims to drive either craft works with the skills they need to local city manufacturers competencies, to small business, to market workers, to cab workers, to city gardeners or urban gardens projects. So we have several community associations that need this supply that the municipality offers towards their small businesses or towards their jobs or towards their employment. So, for example, this recognition of competencies to enhance the qualifications, it's a plus because it underlines the wide range of educational paths that people need to, and that goes from these double certifications that we have spoken a little time ago to academic or professional ones that they need to be on the market so far. So this is an offer that is made through several modular and short-term courses to complement specific TVET needs. And this works closely with the National Institute for Vet and Employment, as I have said. Also to follow Digicom framework program for digital literacy specific designed by this department, and that was launched 3 years ago. It's also a plus because it complements the needs for this digital competence that people are aiming for. Also, the work closely with the higher institutions, that is crucial to diversify and supply a great assortment of specific programs to the settlement of academic skills. The municipality has a broader competencies financement towards the teaching and the training of constant education. It updates professional development, so both pedagogical as well as technical skills to implement a culture of quality in the municipality and in the city. So this is very important for us. For example, the challenge of European entrepreneurship competencies framework, the Intercomp, that the municipality of Lisbon supported in launching the Startup Lisboa, for example. It's an entrepreneur hub that supports the creation of companies and their first years of activity. And this comes from 2012, so some years ago. And now it was improved, it was boosted to provide entrepreneurs with office space as well as a support structure to mentoring, strategic partnerships, perks, access to investment networking activities, to a community based on knowledge and sharing. And this is financed also with the participatory budget of the City Council. I don't know if you want to ask furthermore. I think mainly is this. I have a lot more to say, but I know.
No, I think you have given a good overview on how you can act in the future, because having all these resources available and your connections and your capacity to make networking and to activate the resources, I think is a clear example on what you can deploy and what are your strong points. Your organizational capacity, I think, is very much important. And I see also, I can say personally, because we are moving together with these periodical meetings to set up the CoVE's condition. And I see that we are running in the good way because of your capacity, because of your strong attitudes to coordinate and to put resources together. So I would like to ask now to João Alves, one strong point of your TVET Center regarding this future view of excellence in TVET sector. Thank you, Maria, and let's pass the floor to João Alves.
That's a difficult question because there are 25 points from Skillman assessment. Only to choose one, I believe. I will talk about internationalization because that's one of my focus area inside ATEC. Then João can perhaps explore other issues. ATEC has been very active in what regards with internationality. We are since the beginning of ATEC, we have mobility programs together with other Volkswagen plants, so we can send our trainees, and we receive also trainees from Volkswagen Group plants at our facilities. So that's one of the strong international activities that we have, because that's very valuable. That gives really added value for our students in comparison with other institutions that cannot do the same. We also have the opportunity to send our trainers as well. That's a way of them to improve and to learn with the most advanced industries in the not only in Europe but in the world. How the technology is evolving, and what is the way, and that we should also develop our training models and our training contents. So that's really a strong point from the mobility programs that Erasmus, of course, gives the opportunity for us to use, and also for our leaders. We also use our leaders, or other way. Our leaders also use the Erasmus Plus programs and mobilities, also to see and to connect with other vocational education and training institutions, in order to see different ways of managing and different ways of organizing our activities, and to share, of course, our knowledge and competencies with other institutions. And these are really big and strong points from the international from our international strategy. And of course, we are also trying to compete more and more in, for instance, skills competitions, international ones. we have some very nice results also, more in the national level, of course, but sometimes we can also achieve the European and world levels. So that's a very good indicator as well about our the quality of our training. And well, we have some more activities, international activities.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm not remember, but we also participate in innovative programs and projects.
You pronounce the magic word because you said we implement activities with the Erasmus Plus program.
Yes,
It is our mother program. It's very important, not only in itself because source for funding, but also we know the engagement of the community, the Skillman community, to implement several different tools that are offered by the European Commission. And we have a strong commitment to implement the ESCO database, the early school living toolkit of CEDEFOP, the selfie tool for assessing and implementing IT in the Tibet organization, and now on not only anymore because it's also adapted for the use of companies. So we have different, as a Skillman community, we have different interactions with the various tools team, with the JRC, with the CEDEFOP, and also this strong commitment to work together with the European Training Foundation. So I think in terms also for internationalization, as you started to describe, it's very important that you bring this important added value to the Skillman community, because even there's partners, there's sister organizations, or there's a counterpart. In some way, they expect contributions from us in boosting the internationalization capacity. And I think that your presence in the network is very important for this regard. So we are going to the last speaker in this case, because this was the last topic. And João Costa, you are the one privileged to put.
Thank you very much. So I will just try to highlight two topics from could be our contribution. By the way, just you mentioned selfie tool. We applied this year a selfie tool precisely to our trainees and our teachers. So basically, two topics. One of the things is the relationship with the industry. So we have a network in Portugal, around about 350 companies, where we send our trainees for the internships. We have a very high rate of employability, so above 95% of our trainees are employed in the field where they study. And the one important thing also to highlight the importance of these technical skills for the economy and for the companies is that we didn't feel that during this 1.5 year of pandemics that the employability of our trainees was coming down. So it was more or less stable. So it's really, I think, a reinforcement that the technical skills are really lacking in the market, and even on crisis periods, they are the ones less affected by, for instance, unemployment. So this is basically this relationship, or very close relationship with this network of companies, allow us to revise the curriculum, so to adapt the curriculum to the needs of the companies. So we are not training by the sake of training, we are training to provide the industry with the best professionals that we can prepare for. And also, if there is need, and I already mentioned before, at least two examples of developing new curriculum, so that are available, and the curriculum that we develop, they are not just for us, they are for the complete VET ecosystem in Portugal. The other topic, not to speak because, as João said, it's about 25 topics on this self-assessment from Skillman. The other topic that we are working a lot on is these pedagogical methodologies. So we have working in the last years with a working group, internal working group, also with some external corporations from time to time, regarding innovation on the pedagogical methods. We are facing a new generation, and we can just not say that these new students, they are not paying attention, they are sticking to the mobile phones and so on and so on. We need to find a way to adapt and adjust our pedagogical methodologies using the digital world and all the digital possibilities to improve the motivation and the outcome of our training sessions. We are also doing it, and during the last year, because we were faced with this challenge of having this not face-to-face training actions, so we have to be training via remote training. We also invest in especially in the last 1.5 years, a lot in training our community of trainers in the tools for doing this remote training, but also regarding this pedagogical and some hints of how to get the students to be involved in the training. So this is also our contribution, not only for our internal trainers, but also for the community of trainers to provide this issue. So I think the other one was already what João mentioned it regarding the international projects. Internationalization is really, for us, also a very, very important issue. Just to highlight, João, one of our contributions that you mentioned, but it's a specific project. So we are a part of this big European project, OLBATS, that have as a target the development of competencies and training contents for the batteries ecosystem. So we know that will be really something that is already there, the batteries, and we have a complete life cycle of the battery since the mining until the recycling and so on and so on. So it's a complete new process and a new world, and we are involved in that project in preparing the skills for the future and preparing the trainings also for this type of people in this area. So I think not to be, and I still had some other topics, but I think for now these are the most important ones.
Wow, we have talked about a lot of topics, a lot of efforts, capacities, and contacts, expertises. We have experiences in the past, and we have a clear future, I think, from your words, and a strong team to build up, to continue building up, and to then reinforcing the role of the Portuguese CoVEs in between the community of CoVEs that the Skillman network has started to launch in 2019. I am very grateful to you for your commitment to make this CoVE working with the Skillman community of CoVEs. And I think that your contribution is not only that is not only an expectation. I think that your contribution is started already to be concrete, because even with this interview you have given several ideas and several opportunities to understand how you perform and how any CoVEs can improve its performances. Well, of course, that the arguments to be treated are many, and our 25 variables are a big number of things that must be controlled, checked, audited, and tuned in the continuous life of a consortium like the one that we are going to implement. Just last thing I would like to underline that there is someone that intend the CoVEs as an individual organization that is a center of vocational excellence that act against the territory, in relation with the territory. But our idea of CoVE is not one center, one player, is a network of organizations at territorial level or cluster level, at territorial level in our case, that works together with a leadership. In our case, we have the municipality that has assumed this role and this, I think, important responsibility. But we have a very horizontal collaboration within our members. And I think that all the characteristics that we have seen today are exactly the characteristics that are intended in our model, in the Skillman model. So we are engaged, we have the capacities, and we have the future in front. Thank you very much for following us with this interview. I'm talking with the auditors now. And thank you very much to you, João Alves, João Costa, and Maria Manuel Ribeiro, for your kind availability to contribute to the cause of excellence for all and not for elites. If you now would like to say goodbye in your language, I think would be very and just 2 words in Portuguese, I think would be very appreciated by our Please,
Muito obrigada.
Está obrigado também. Boa tarde a todos.
Deus obrigado, boa tarde.
Thank you very much to everybody in English, because I cannot speak in Portuguese. The only thing I know in Portuguese is mais vale prevenir que remediar. I don't know if the pronunciation was good, but I think that with our work we do something important. With your work, you do something very important for the future of Tibet and for the society in general. Thank you very much from the Skillman community. And this interview, I think, will be interesting also to be watched in the next year, when we will have new progresses about our CoVE network, and we will be able to make a comparison from the past to the future. Thank you very much again, and stay tuned on our interview channel.